Alright, and hello everybody, I'm the Sweeper27 and welcome to another Dokkan battle video. Today we're in the EZA event for STR VEGITO, one of my favorite characters that has ever been released in Dokkan's history. So, he is weak against, obviously, legendary power, and he does less damage to artificial life forms. I said that terribly. So this is the team that we will be rocking with. Not a whole lot of LRs, but I don't really care too much. So let's go ahead and dive into this guy's kit. So, this is Fused Hope, Goku, and Vegeta Angel. They lead Battle of Wits or Majin Buu Saga, 3 key and 180 to stats. Majin Buu Saga, that could be very relevant if you don't summon Buu or if you don't have the Buu duo. This could actually potentially be like a decent leader if you don't have it. And Battle of Wits is also quite powerful. That has like Orange Piccolo and stuff. On their 12 key, they stack defense, greatly raise attack for 1 turn, and cause colossal damage to the enemy. And then for their 18 key super, they stack defense, greatly raise attack for 1 turn, and then mega colossal damage to the enemy. Alright, pretty good. That's a pretty good little start. Stacking is always nice. For their passive, they get 2 key and 200% to stats. That's a lot. 30% damage reduction. They get an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained. That's also very good. They launch an additional attack with a 70% chance of it being a super. They have a 30% chance to crit. They get an additional 50% attack and defense and launch an additional super attack for 1 turn from the character's entry turn, or when HP is 77% or more at the start of turn. Ooh, that's pretty good. Okay. They get an additional chance to perform a crit plus 20% and 20% damage reduction if HP is 50% or more when attacking. So when you have 50% HP, they're at a 50% chance to crit. That's pretty good, actually. That kind of sucks, though, because I think my STR Vegito has, like, really good crit equips. Like, I think mine has like almost 30 crit. That's gonna hurt having to replace those. Potentially, of course. But that's kind of crazy. Get an additional 50% attack and defense and launch a guaranteed additional super for 1 turn from this character's entry turn, or when HP is 77% or more at the start of turn. So if the very first time these guys enter the battle, you're below 77% HP, they get to do that. And then for the rest of the battle, if you're above 77%, they launch a guaranteed additional super, and they're stacking their defense with 30% damage reduction, 50% damage reduction if you're above 50% HP. Yeah, no, their base form is pretty freaking good, not gonna lie. That's like a great slot too, hell yeah. Plus they're giving themselves extra key. 200 stats too is kind of ridiculous. Then for their links, they have Saiyan Warrior Race, Experienced Fighter, the Saiyan Lineage, Shocking Speed, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, and then Legendary Power. And then they are on a lot of categories. Majin Buu Saga, Potara, Pure Saiyan, Join Forces, Super Saiyans, Kamehameha, Final Trump Card, Battle of Wits, Accelerated Battle, Fused Fighter, Bonded Parent, and Child. Alright, and then you can fuse into Vegito when HP is 77% or less from the 4th turn from start of battle. So, once you are Vegito, their new super attack effect, their 12 key is raise attack and defense for 1 turn and then colossal damage. Oh wait, that is their pre-EZA, excuse me, there we go. Their EZA state, here we are. Their 12 keys, they greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn and then colossal damage to the enemy. And then for their 18 key, they greatly raise attack and defense for 1 turn, mega colossal damage to the enemy, and they seal. The seal is nice, because there are a lot of events now that you are able to do that. The one that comes to mind is the Red Zone movie boss rush. Up until you get to Broly, you're able to stun and seal several of those enemies. And then Cell Max, once you get him below 30% HP, you are able to keep him stunned and sealed throughout the duration of the fight. So that is actually quite relevant. On their transformation turn, they get a full HP recovery, which is, that's very good. They guard all attacks for 3 turns from start of turn. Ooh. They get 5 key and 250% to stats, and a high chance of performing a crit. So that's a 50% chance to crit. They get an additional chance to perform a crit plus 20% within the same turn for every attack performed. Interesting. They get an additional 30% attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. They get 30% damage reduction, plus an additional 30% damage reduction when receiving normals. So they have 60% damage reduction against normals. Okay. They counter normals with tremendous power. They get an additional 2 key per key sphere obtained. They get an additional 77% attack and defense and foresees enemy super attacks for 10 turns from this character's entry turn. Yeah, no, Vegito's actually broken. He's really good. So, yeah, they gave him all the crit that he's ever going to need. So he's basically... So he starts the turn off with a 50% chance to crit. You perform one super attack, you're at a 70. You perform an additional, you're at a 90% chance to super. And if you get a hit potential after that, you're over 100. So you can actually do guaranteed crits. And that's very relevant because of his counters. You put this guy in a slot 2, he launches his additionals or whatever. Then all of those counters are going to be crit counters, which is an insane little buff that he's getting right there. Having all that damage reduction too, like 60% damage reduction to normals, he's gonna never die to a normal. I'm almost certain for that, especially for the first 3 turns while he has his guard. Like that's good. That's very good. I don't know if he would necessarily be able to eat a super attack though. I mean, he does stack in his base form. That is worth mentioning. So you kind of want to like hold on to the Vegito fusion as long as you possibly can, because like the first 3 turns are going to be super explosive. Full HP recovery and guard and everything. Plus you get the Scouter for 10 turns and he gets an extra 77% to stats. There's not an event in the game that would make you run that long. Like you're not losing that buff from the time that you fuse. There's no way. Like, I know for, like, Tech Gogeta, his is only for 5 turns, and you could potentially run out of that. Whenever he EZAs, which will probably be, like, in a year or so, hopefully they give him the 10 turns treatment as well, instead of just the 5 turns or whatever. But yeah, no, Vegeta is so good. Is he the best LR in the game right now on Global? Or do I think Orange Piccolo is better? It's between him and Orange Piccolo right now. I don't actually know what Buhan does. I haven't looked at what Buhan does. So I'm not entirely sure if like how the community ranks those characters specifically, but like Vegito is insane. Like his base form is actually like not too bad. I mean, stacking is good and the damage reduction. He's really not going to take damage against normals. I can maybe see like a super attack doing some like decent damage, maybe, but like I'm not even really sure about that. It depends on how quickly he gets to stack. But it looks like he can launch, like in his passive, he can launch 2 additionals. One that's a 70% chance, and then one you just have to be above 77% HP. So you could theoretically get 3-4 stacks each turn if you give him hit a potential system as well. And then you transform, and he's not gonna die to supers. He's never gonna die to a super because you have the Scouter. So you can always put him wherever the most amount of normals are, but the least amount of super attacks, and you're good. Yeah, no, Vegeta's crazy. Super good, yeah. I'm a huge fan. They cooked. Again, I'm super excited about this. Like, I don't know if you guys follow me on Twitter. If you don't, you 100% should. But the night that these guys, like the reveal was shown that these guys were EZAing, I literally, there's a video on my Twitter of me just screaming into a pillow because I was so excited at like 3 a.m. or whatever. His links do change a little bit once he fuses. So he now has Super Saiyan, Power Bestowed by God, Fuse Fighter, Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. Yeah, no, Vegeta is incredibly good. He has to be one of the best LRs on Global right now. It's probably between him and Orange Piccolo, and I would assume Buhan is on a very similar power level to this character. So those are probably going to be like the big 3 on Global until like the 9th anniversary. Potentially whatever like the Part 2 Golden Week LR could be, whether it's Kid Buu, Buhan, Kibito, Kai, like whatever they choose to do. I mean, I feel like that'll also probably be in the conversation, but everyone's going to have this character. Like, this character came out in 2020, right? So everyone's going to have this character. I have mine rainbowed. I feel like a lot of people are going to have their... Even at 55%, I feel like this guy is incredibly valuable. It's going to absolutely run through events. Like, I could see this guy being, like, very useful in the new Buu Saga stuff. Like, I don't know how well he would do against the AoE that Super Buu does. But, I mean, if you give a couple of stacks... I know he's type disadvantage, but you give this guy a couple of stacks, he has, like, good links as well. Like, Prepare for Battle is giving him a little bit of defense. Fused Fighter is as well. Those are the only ones, right? Yeah, those are the only ones. But, I mean, having 30% damage reduction, he could potentially be very decent in that event. I don't know how, like, well the AoE would do. It also would matter if he got to super attack beforehand. Yeah. This guy's good. This guy is very good. Everyone do this EZA event this instant. Plus, this is one of the better EZA events. I know this is taking me a long time just because my artificial life form team isn't super powerful, so I'm going to be here for a minute grinding this off screen or what have you. But everyone should have this character. You get a lot of stones for this. You get 33 free stones just by doing it, and then you have an incredibly powerful character that everyone should have. Vegito, he has been on like literally every single banner since 2020, or at least like almost every good banner he's been on there. So go do this right now. If you're a global player, if you're a JP player, you would have done this a long time ago. This guy absolutely cooked. I can't wait to test him out. So I will meet back up with you guys once I have this boy EZ8, and then we can wrap up the video. All right, now this is what I was talking about, Chad. This is going to be so painful. 28 crit when he's already going to be a critting machine. So probably you want to give this guy mainly additional and then a little bit of dodge probably, and then you almost don't need to. Oh my gosh, that's going to be so painful to remove those. But let's go ahead and get this bad boy easy 8, and that is going to be all for this time, guys. I've been the Sweetbird27. I'm a variety Twitch streamer and an up-and-coming YouTuber trying to make it big in the world. I have a Twitter, a Twitch, a TikTok, and a YouTube, the links of which can all be found in the description of this video. And while you're down there, don't forget to like, subscribe, share me around, and leave me a comment. Let me know, what do you think about STR Vegeta? Are you super excited to use him? Or if you're a JP player, how much fun have you been having with the character? I'm going to be using this character a lot. I don't care. This is one of my favorite units that they've ever dropped, and the kit they gave him seems to be so fun. But yeah, that's going to be all for now. So as always, I've been the Sweetbird27, and I am signing off.